Do not talk about yourself at all. Don't use I language at all. Let's talk about navigational phrases. Remember that navigational phrases help you direct conversations and relationships when they seem to be kind of going off track. When people use the language of leaders or good navigators, other people tend to follow them. So use navigational phrases correctly, like, let's keep moving. Let's remain on course. Let's stay focused. Now, this week I wanted to mention unidirectional signals. What I'm talking about is I want to signal to everybody who's listening or watching, this is where the attention should be. Not on me, not on that, Rudy Bruderson, right there. So you can throw attention at me. I'm going to deflect it and send it unilaterally right there. So for example, if Rudy Bruderson, were to make whatever comment it is, and this is the beauty of having these types of duct tape phrases. Duct tape phrases are phrases that you can use in a variety of different circumstances. And phrases such as, let's remain focused, let's stay on track. Those are duct tape phrases. You can use them for anything. Now watch. The interruption comes over here. Without missing a beat, I'm not going to look at you. I'm simply going to say, let's stay focused. Let's stay on track. Now you'll notice I do two things there. I'm leaning in towards where I would like the focus to be, but I'm also giving that person the universal stop gesture. I am stopping you. I am blocking you. That's all you're going to get from me. A stop and a block. That's it. That's the only body language that you get, where I am deflecting from you and I'm putting the energy, the attention, back to where it should be. My boss, the meeting leader, whomever is speaking, whatever that is. Now, if I'm the one who's speaking, if I'm the one who's speaking when this interruption happens from Rudy Bruderson, it's a little bit different, right? Because where am I going to send, the energy that I should be deflecting? Take a deliberate moment. A lot of people feel as though that they need to respond quickly to other people and, talk real fast, and that somehow shows that they have some type of, communication skill or power. It does not do that. Many times what it does is it reveals our own insecurities and makes us appear vulnerable because we are so quick to defend against something. And remember that when people see you defend against anything, never defend. Never defend against anything. Because what it does is reveals that you believe something needs defending. And we only defend what we believe to be vulnerable. So do not defend anything in public, ever. Don't do that. But sometimes we need a moment to think, wait a minute, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? When you take a breath like that, it communicates something. What it does is, it communicates, you are all going to wait on the edge of your seat for what I have to say because it's that good. It's worth waiting for and you're going to like it. You're going to like the wait, Or when you take a drink. Let's stay focused. And you display to everybody, what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a moment to think about this. And I'm going to choose to stay focused and not give that person attention. Now, having said that, if that troublemaker, if Rudy, a moment later, contributes in a constructive way, it could be by delivering negative criticism, but somehow contributes in an appropriate way, I will give them my full attention, showing them and everybody else who's watching and listening, I will give you my complete attention. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I will not block you or give you the silent treatment forever. As long as you're engaging with me in an appropriate way, I will engage with you in an appropriate way. If, however, you're engaging in an inappropriate way, you don't exist to me. Let's stay on track. And that's the way it is with me, okay? So, having said that now, let's get to the ACB to deflect. This is a biggie. When you can't simply keep going and ignore it anymore, you need to address it, and you need to address it in public as it's happening. If you need to do that, if you have decided that this is where we're going, remember the ACB to deflect. A stands for adjective. C, consequence. B, behavior. Now notice, when I talk about a specific three-part pattern, like this one, I'm delivering this to you this way, in this order, for a reason. You want to end with that person's specific behavior. You're leaving yourself completely out of it and you're starting with an adjective that describes their behavior that sounds like this. It's surprising instead of I'm surprised, or it's troubling instead of I'm troubled. By the way, I love to say I'm troubled at work because nobody ever says I'm troubled. And when you say I'm troubled, people are like, oh my gosh, what about this? I don't hear people say that a whole lot. Troubled, I'm so troubled. It's troubling instead, okay? It's confusing. So that's step one. I'm talking about your behavior. It's confusing. It's troubling. It's striking. It's upsetting. Whatever it is, it is. Now again, this is one of those situations where because you're not saying I'm upset or I'm troubled, what you're doing again is you're taking this word, it's troubling, it's confusing, it's concerning. You're taking that concern, that trouble, that whatever it is, and you're throwing it up into the luminiferous ether, and it's going to then sprinkle back down onto the heads of the listeners, and they're going to be like, I am kind of troubled. I am kind of concerned. I am kind of confused. What are you? Okay, so you are planting the seed in everybody who's there, in their minds. The effect this behavior has. Not on me. It's the effect it has. Don't you think? Wouldn't you agree with that? Okay, step number 2, the consequence of their behavior. We should know what people's hot buttons are. We want to save our talking for situations like this at work. What we want to do most of the time is listen, gather information. I want to be listening to what's important to you. Your reputation, your relationships. Did you and I just happen to have to sit through a diversity training seminar? I give diversity training seminars. I'd love to sit through mine. I would not like to sit through most people's. Okay? By the way, if you need diversity or communication training, make sure to click the link above and go to danoconnortraining.com, fill out the form. I'll come to your company. So the consequences I like to deliver are going to be things like, really if you have just a few duct tape consequences, they kind of tend to sound like this. That somebody so concerned about her reputation would be putting it at risk. That's a consequence based on what you're doing. Now remember, what you're actually doing I'm going to state at the end. But the consequence is, that somebody who's so concerned about their relationships here at work would put them in jeopardy. Or that somebody who just sat through a diversity training seminar would put this entire company at risk. Or that somebody who so values his professional reputation would tarnish it. Or that somebody who's so intelligent would risk being seen as so foolish. Okay? Now I'm going to say what you did at the very end by using ageist language like that. Now, when you get to the actual behavior, be specific. Don't say,
by talking like that.
No. Don't say things like,
by using that type of language.
What type of language? Be specific. By using inflammatory, racist language like that at work, or by using ageist language like that, or by being vulgar, or by bringing politics into the workplace, by whatever it is, be specific. So to put it all together, it might sound like this. John, it's troubling why somebody who cares so much about his professional reputation would put it at risk simply to tell that joke. Let's stay on track. Okay? So you could just say all of that. Or I could say something like, Mary, it's concerning that somebody who just sat through a diversity training seminar would put this entire company as well as her own professional career at risk by using ageist language like that. Let's stay on track. Okay, now you'll notice I didn't talk about me. I did not say I don't appreciate that. I didn't say anything other than I'm going to highlight exactly what you are doing right now, what the consequence is. And then when I'm all done doing that, I'm going to put my attention back to where it should be, and we're going to keep going. There you go. When you practice saying things like that, when you're the one who can do that, really, when you're the one who practices it. Now that takes practice to be able to say, it's concerning that somebody who really values the relationships that she has here at work would put those relationships at risk by using that type of racist language. Let's stay on track. Okay, when you can deliver something like that, it's because you practiced it. Now, if you have learned any type of language patterns, chances are if you've arrived here, you're probably already a subscriber to this channel. Remember, if you're not, if you want to learn, by the way, more tactical scripting techniques and things like that, just like we're talking about here, check that out at DanO'ConnorTraining.com or become a member to either this or that channel. Remember to practice these things, because when the situations arise, it's going to be too late to have to stop and think, wait, what was it that I was supposed to say or talk about? You'll use I language. You'll say things like, I don't appreciate that. So when that happens, don't beat yourself up. Just remember that if you do, say things like, I don't appreciate that, better luck next time, you just blew it. Practice these skills. And remember that next week we're going to be talking about these types of situations and how to address them. When people are insulting or rude or whatever at home. And in the meantime, during this presidential debate season, I would like to say that we here at Dan O'Connor Training could use your support. So if you want to support this channel and not be a communication freeloader, remember to share, like, and comment on this video. And if you would like me to answer your question as I'm doing this week with private, make sure to subscribe to this channel and leave your question in the comments below, and then I will answer it in a video response like this, if I can. I try to get to everybody's. It takes me a while sometimes, but remember to subscribe to this channel and keep the bell on. There are different bell settings now. Make sure to keep your bell set to the big ding-a-ling so that you can get notified when your answer comes out or when more videos like this come out so that you can enjoy them. And usually, if you have something that's bothering you, we're all part of the global conversation and the collective consciousness. If you're noticing it as a pattern, it keeps popping up, talk about it here, and we can all benefit from talking about solutions. So I'm very grateful that you would trust me to help you find solutions private, and I hope that you didn't mind that I was, exposing your privates to the whole world.